Okay guys, welcome back to Pom Pom Making 101. The way we're going to do this today is I'm going to show you how to use this Clover Pom Pom maker. I actually got this online through Amazon actually. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it came in a set of two. This is the large one. It comes with the one that's a little bit smaller for smaller hats. And I really recommend these because it really gives your pom-pom stability while you're trying to tie it up and make sure that it's not going to fall apart. And whoever made this, I think, is absolutely genius. Anyway, so what you're going to need for this part of the project is the yarn that you use to make the hat, or the color of the yarn that you want, a pair of scissors. Now, earlier you saw me with these orange handled scissors. These work fine too. I'm choosing to use my smaller ones because I think they fit better where I'm going to have to put them to cut the yarn later. Alright, let's get to this. First of all, these pom-pom makers open up like this. There are a lot of tutorials online about how to use these. If mine is confusing for you and you still want to learn how to make the pom-pom, you can find these same exact videos on YouTube. So, you know, feel free to watch this one, follow mine, or go to somebody else's. I completely understand. Alright, so what we need to do is have a nice stream of yarn that's just going to come out when we want it to. Let's bring that over here. If you're right-handed, you're really going to want the yarn on the right side. So what you want to do is pick up the pom-pom maker in your left hand. Hold this yarn in front like this, keeping these two blue pieces together. And you want to wrap your yarn around this, okay? And just keep doing that. And then go around, all the way around. You can let go of that yarn piece now. Go around. Make sure it's fairly tight. You don't want it too loose. Alright, you're going to take it all the way around. Now, the way that I have the pom-pom for this other hat, it's very big. It's full of yarn, okay? The way that I did it on this pom-pom maker months ago. And you have to use quite a bit of yarn. That's the reason why I told you guys at the beginning for making the hat, I said make sure you have a skein of yarn because you're going to be using quite a bit of yarn. When you crochet cables, you use more yarn than what you would normally use if you were making a project with crocheting or knitting. So make sure you have an entire skein of yarn for this project. With the pom-pom, you're going to be using quite a bit. Let's go ahead and continue. This part really just doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be inside the pom-pom. You're not going to see this part. So go back around the other direction. Fill in all those gaps. We're going to do this about 4 or 5 times. Alright, now if that's the thickness that you like, do whatever you want, then go ahead and take your scissors and cut off the yarn right about, I'd say, here, so you can at least see it. And then close this up, just like this. Now you're going to go to the other side, and you're going to do the exact same thing that you just did with this side. Okay, so this is not the desired thickness that I want for mine. I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn here, bring it back up like this, and I'm going to close this up so you can tell that it's the exact same thickness around. Okay, now what you're going to do is turn this around this way so that this part that's here is on the bottom and facing you. You don't want the top facing you. The one that opens on up here, you want this to be opening from the bottom here. Because what you're going to do is, now, you see where this little space is? You're going to put your scissor right in there. And you're going to start to cut. And all the way, you're going to use that opening that's in here. That's where your scissors go. Alright, and this is what should happen. And now we're going to go ahead and turn this over, and you're going to do the same thing to this other side. Alright, now you're going to have to get a good size length of yarn here, probably about, I would say, 14 inches or so. Now, these other things can go away. What you're going to do is take the strand, go through here, and push this strand down all the way until it doesn't go any further. And it comes up here. Okay? This is what it should look like. And then crisscross these two strands of yarn. If you need to make one size longer to even them out, go ahead. Crisscross them over like this. Knot them twice, so 1, 2, and then push down. Notice how the yarn on both sides is pushing inward. See how it's pushing inward? Now push down and around and come up the other side. Do the same thing. Okay? You want to crisscross these and do a double knot like this, and then you want to push that down like this and knot that tightly, but not too tight. You don't want to break your yarn, and then push that down again and come up the other side. It's pretty sturdy now. You're not gonna, this isn't going to fall apart on you. Go ahead and double knot it again and push it down and come around and do it again. You want to make sure that your pom-pom is reinforced, because pom-poms, this stuff actually pulls out. You don't want that, especially in the wash and things like that. Alright. Push it down and then bring it up the other side and double knot it again. Right here, and then double knot it again in the same place. Might be a little overkill, but believe me when I tell you, it's totally worth it. Okay, we are done with that part. Now, these parts that open, we're going to go ahead and pop this open here. Just like that. And on the other side too. Pop this side open as well. And now this side and this side, come and pull them, sorry. And set them to the side. And now you have a pom-pom. Shake it out. And now this is the time for you to go ahead and start shaving it down and making it the way you want it to look. So you kind of start here and kind of just start shaving away, getting those big ones out of the way. If they're sticking up in any spots, you can go and trim them down. And that is how you make a pom-pom. Now, if you do not have a pom-pom maker like this, I will show you how to make one using your hand. They don't come out nearly as good. I will just tell you that right now. They don't hold as well because you don't have the structure holding all of this for you. You just have your hands. So it's hard, but if you are desperate to have a pom-pom, what I would suggest is if you make one by hand, you're going to definitely want to leave your strands here because you're going to use them. Alright, so you're going to want something that you can either wrap this around, like a cup or something, or you can just use your hand. I'm going to go ahead and use my hand. And you want to wrap this a lot. You just want to wrap your hand up with the yarn. So go ahead and do that. And then I will be back. Okay, so this is about how much you want wrapped around your hand. Notice there's a lot of it. And if you start to notice that your skein of yarn is beginning to dwindle down to nothing, it's because these pom-poms take a lot of yarn. So, all right, let's go ahead and get some scissors and cut. Now, what we have to do, this is the part that makes this more difficult, because there's nothing holding it. You need to get a long strip of yarn and cut it like this, hopefully one-handed because your other hand is busy. Okay, then you need to lay this down like this. Now you need to take this off your hand without taking the whole bit of it apart. Okay, and just like this, you want to lay this on top of the strand. Now the strand needs to come up on the side like this and across the top. Then you need to go ahead and make a double knot like this and pull as hard as you can, and then turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Double knot it just like this, holding this down, because like I said, you got to use your hands to do all of this. That's why it's not nearly as easy to do. And then turn it over and do the other side, and you got to figure out where your yarn was in here. Okay, and then come back through here somewhere. I'm not sure where. Okay, and then you got to double knot it again here like this. Okay, and then go ahead and double knot it again right here. I know this thing is literally all over my desk. I apologize. I'm trying to keep it from rubbing it, from flying all over the place. Okay, now you don't have the aid of this piece here, or this part here. So what you got to do is figure out where the loops are and put your scissors in there, and then just start cutting. And make sure that you get all the pieces, because they hide in there too. Okay. Okay. Get that done. And kind of look in here, because you're going to see so you have loops here. You're going to have to get those too. And let's see. I think there's some loops here that you're going to have to cut. You need to look around. This is why I'm saying it's really not worth trying to do it with your hand. It's not, because you won't enjoy it. I'm just saying. If it's a desperate situation, yes. If you can afford to go over to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and get yourself a pom-pom maker, I totally recommend it. I mean, seriously, there's such a big difference in the way that these get made. And it's faster, and it's just easier, and you know that it's going to be precise. You don't have to worry about if it's going to fall apart. They're much, much better. Alright, so let's look for loops that we missed. There's some here. And one right there. And one right here. Actually, there's two right there. Right there. And I felt another one. Where'd you go? Right here. They just want to hide. All right. Some of them look smaller than others. Some of the strands look smaller on this side, shorter than others, and like it seems like they're hanging out over here. So, I almost would say just leave the pom-pom like this if you made it by hand, and don't bother. Just let it be extra like wild if you want, because I think it would probably just hold up better. But definitely do not tie this to your hat without a button. You don't want to sew this onto a hat. Do not do that because it will fall apart in the wash and you will be very upset with yourself. So definitely have a button about this big and then put it on the inner top portion of the hat. Have a button that can just literally sit right here. And then from this side, the pom-pom gets these strands here will go down inside the hat, down into the holes of the button. And then when you get them through the holes of the button, you take them like this, and then you would just basically tie them like, you know, tying shoes. Because then that way you can wear it with the hat, but then if you want to take it off, it's easy to take off. If you want to wash the hat, you can take the pom-pom off first so that it doesn't damage it. So you can go ahead and trim this down too if you want to. I would give it a haircut like this, and then cut everything above it here and just keep going around like that until it's even. Otherwise, I would just leave it nice and wild as it is and trim off like those few little spots like right here that are just a little bit too long, and just leave it be its wild self and let it have some character, and you've got a pom-pom. So anyway, you guys, there's the two different pom-poms, and I'm going to show you how to put this one on your hat. Alright, so for this part of the project, what you need to do is have your yarn needle in hand and take the one strand on this side and put it through your needle. And then what you want to do is find a side. You want to find like a side here or a side here, one of these two sides here or here or here, it doesn't matter. And try to get it like right about here. And then push. Don't lose your yarn. Push that through and grab that and pull it through. Okay. And now you're going to take the other strand that's sticking out here, and you're going to get that onto the yarn needle. And on the opposite side, so let's see, you put that in here. So you want to go on the other side over here somewhere. Put it through, okay, and go through inside with your other hand and grab that as well and pull that through also, and then pull it all the way through. Now put your hand up there and hold on to those strands, because they don't want them coming out when you pull your hat right side out. Okay, now you've got the two pieces here, the two short ones, which are the ones that are connected to the pom-pom. So basically what you want to do is kind of give this a good tie, okay? Double it like this, tie it down, double it again, tie it down. Now this strand over here, use it to anchor your pom-pom on. Go ahead and tie it on, double it like this, pull it down, do it again, twice, anchor it, tie it down, one more time, twice, and anchor it. That is not going anywhere. You can just go ahead and just snip that off right there. Even if that sticks up a little bit, that doesn't matter, nobody's going to see it. And voila. There you go. Your pom-pom is now on your hat. Find the back of it, push it down to the other side of the brim, and then flip it over so you can see the front of your hat. Okay. I like mine. I don't know about you guys, but I like the color that I chose. This is a light gray by I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby. I do really, really like it. Also, if you wanted to have this really shaggy pom-pom on it, that would be really cute too. Just saying. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining me today with this tutorial. I hope that you like it. I hope you'll wear it this winter. And you know what? If you want to, and you say, oh my gosh, everybody in my family needs to have one of these. I mean, you can make them in different colors. You can get creative and change color. You know, there's YouTube videos that show you how to change color throughout the rows and stuff like that. So you could find a video tutorial for that as well. You could do the brim in one color and then have a different color for the body of the hat, and then make the hat in the two colors together. Do like one side in one color, snip it off, do the other side in the other color, snip it off, and then you could just, you know, have kind of like a double colored pom-pom. You can get really creative and do basically whatever you want to. But anyway, I really like how this came out. These, when they're full like this, they're a lot easier to shave down and even out, and they look so nice. So anyway, you guys, enjoy the hat, wear it proudly, show it off to people. If people say, hey, where'd you get that hat? Just tell them, I made it myself. Show, you know, have pride in it, show it off, and make more for other people. And I hope that you'll come back for my next tutorial. I don't know what it's going to be about just yet. I've been working mostly on the cabling and the, you know, the front and back post double crochets this last week. So just kind of keep an eye out and see what else I come up with. So until then, you guys, happy crocheting, and I will see you next time. Bye.